So what's up, YouTube? This is the last video I'm making this afternoon before I go to work. But right now I want to get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I know when you go to base notes of Fragrantica, you see that big time. So, like, not everybody is going to like everything. So I'm going to talk good, bad, and ugly. Like, a lot of my reviews, Hane Mori HM and Body Koros and Pure Malt Theory Bugle, and, you have a few scents that are loved. But then you're going to have some scents that are loathed and hated. And you'll find, like in base notes, you have some European people who don't like the American style of dress and fragrance. You see some people from other countries. Like you may see a guy from Vietnam, and it's a tropical environment, so he's not going to like Le Male, probably. You see a British guy bashing Le Male, talking about how heavily it's worn to clubs. So this is all about problem solving. Like, what you want to do is find a good fragrance that's a good buy. Now, so many of these people on base notes have found stuff that is a horrible buy. They have terrible chemistry with it. They don't have the time to wear it or the right time for it, and so they're not wearing it right. Now, most fragrances have a certain use, unless they are reformulated into junk. Like English leather has no use, and it's junk, and it's disgusting. And everybody absolutely hates that fragrance. Like, literally, there's some people who like it, but overall, in this day and age, English leather is like the least popular fragrance. And, in the 40s, it was made very well, but they started reformulating in the 60s when the less people bought it. Well, there's some 80s scents that were very good back in the day, and then they started reformulated because there was less business for it, and there was less demand. And so when they reformulate these fragrances, you end up with something that, isn't the same. And they may change the dry down, they may get cheaper chemicals in it, like the Davidoff scent. Johnny Depp used to wear that, and then he was like, what in the world have they done with it? It just wasn't the same anymore. And this is where, like with scents, you may like a sweet scent, or you may find it very synthetic. You may like a fresher scent, or you may think it's like a Pantene shampoo. But it all gets down to what you want to wear. And like, it's important to, go to Fragrantica and base notes. Search for fragrances by the notes. Look for certain notes like agarwood and, different ingredients that look, better. Like cashmere. Like, why did Sean John do so well for celeb scent? Because they put cashmere wood and they put a lot of good ingredients in the Unforgivable. They just didn't give it enough staying power, and so people end up wearing it heavy and filling up the room. And, then a few years later, people came up with other Fougere scents that kind of blew it out of the water. But, the quality of these notes and the noses they use and the amount of time that they spend actually getting it put together are what make it work. And so you see, like Guerlain, he doesn't want anybody making his fragrances. He does it himself. He doesn't focus on bottle design. He doesn't care what the bottle looks like. It's all about his juice. And like Hobby Rohe, very refined, kind of macho, green, kind of bitter citrus in the beginning, and then it starts to become a vanilla kind of scent. And it keeps its character. And it has kind of a gourmand feel, but it also has an old school kind of feel to it. And that's not a money grab. On the other hand, you see the big ponies, and you see all this stuff that's constantly being sold. And you're not going to remember it walking out of the store. It's usually a money grab. And it all gets down to, like, when I say good, bad, and ugly, you can find some junk in a dollar store as a copy. And then you can find something even worse to buy at a department store that's copied after something too. So it all gets down to what you are looking for. And it's important to have a good nose. And, like with these salespeople, do not agree with everything they say. They will see through you. And they will see if you look like you know what you're doing when you go in that store. And they'll be like, oh my God, this is a 12-hour fragrance. You got to buy it. Everybody loves it. And that's a sales pitch. Whereas, you got to know what you want. And, the good, bad, and ugly, you can get something with very bad chemistry that just isn't you. You could get a scent that smells like you in 10 years, but not now. I mean, it all depends on knowing what works for you. And a fragrance that works on one person may not work on another. And there may be one guy who loves Usher's music, but he wears Usher and it just doesn't work for his chemistry. Another guy wears it and it is like a phenomenal scent. Somebody else wears Acquadigio, or something else. They see that thinking, oh, this is what I need. And then it turns out, not their thing. It just all gets down to chemistry and if it's your kind of fragrance. And when I say good and bad and ugly, you see a lot of fragrances, you see base notes in Fragrantica. There is some stuff that is, cheap for a reason. There's some stuff on there that people aren't wearing for a reason. And then there's some stuff on those sites that delivers. It just doesn't sell because people don't advertise it, but they make it. So this is my review, and thanks for watching.